Today we're going to do the Battle of Shiloh. So we're going to actually have to move back in time about a year and a few months. Because we did Gettysburg just because we were going on the trip. This happens about a year before the Battle of Gettysburg. And we're once again talking about what is required to achieve victory in war. So the Battle of Shiloh started in Tennessee. And part of the reason why the Union wanted to fight in the West in Tennessee was because they wanted to gain control of the Mississippi River, which was a big part of their Anaconda Plan. So it takes place from April 6th to April 7th in Tennessee in a town called Pittsburgh Landing. So if you were in the South learning about this battle, you would name it the Battle of Pittsburgh Landing because that's the name of the town. But the Union called it the Battle of Shiloh because it was the name of the church that they fought outside of. So this battle was huge because up until this point, we don't have too much Union leadership other than Lincoln. So this is the first time that we run into General Ulysses S. Grant. So at this battle in Shiloh, up against the Tennessee River, the Union weren't even there to fight at the time. They were there just planning out how they were going to take over the railroads down south and in the west, and how they were going to get control of the Mississippi River. So they were attacked by the Confederates by surprise, and during the first day, the Confederates pushed the Union all the way back up against the Tennessee River, and they pretty much were out. The Union were pretty much losing. They were losing so bad that they because they were waiting for backup from Buell. Buell did not get there in time, so after one day of fighting, they would have their backs up against the wall. But the Union did kill the Confederate General Johnson, who winds up being the highest-ranking general who dies in the Civil War. He dies by getting shot in the back of the leg, right behind his kneecap. And if he would have had a medic on site, he probably would have lived. But his medic was actually off tending to Union prisoners of war. So he sent his medic off and gets grazed in the leg by a bullet, and he bleeds out. Instead of surrendering, which the Confederates thought the Union were going to do, PGT, what's his last name? Beauregard takes over for Johnson, and he actually assumes that they're winning, so he sends a letter back to the president of the Confederacy saying that they won. He has no intentions of losing this battle. He already counts it as a win after day one. But during day two, Buell gets to Grant, and with Grant's leadership and Buell's army, the Union are able to fight back, and they launch an offensive. So instead of being defensive and just standing their ground, they wake up the next morning and decide that they're going to attack the Confederates back. So this battle is the first major victory for the Union Army. Up until this point, they didn't have too many major wins. They were losing a lot of battles. And this is where we finally get a general to lead the Union Army, Ulysses S. Grant. So after he uses this battle and some other little battles to kind of propel his leadership into taking a bigger role in the Union Army. And the Union starts to realize that the conflict is going to be about conquest more than just defeat. They're going to have to not only defeat the Confederate Army, but they're going to have to start gaining control over the southern lands. Not only are they just have to win battles, they're going to have to completely take over the towns that they're fighting in. During this battle, before this battle, they still thought the war was going to be quick and easy. But this is the battle where they kind of see that it's not going to be so quick, and it's going to be bloody, and they're going to have to completely control the South if they're going to win this war. So up until this point, this is the bloodiest battle in the Civil War. The Union troops lose about 13,000 of their 63,000 that they had in total during this battle. And the Confederacy lose about 11,000 of their 40,000. Why do we know the Confederacy loses more than the Union? Nico?
Because they have less troops than the Union Army does.
Perfect. So they lose a much higher percentage of their total population, which to start the war isn't very much to begin with. So once again, we talk about what is required to achieve victory in war. Grant's strategy of not giving up won him the battle. At that time, most people just assumed that he was going to give up and just surrender. As we said, PGT Beauregard sends letters back to Jefferson Davis claiming victory. They had no clue that Buell's army was going to get there in time and help out Grant. And with Grant's army and Buell's army together, they were able to completely back the Confederates off of the Tennessee River, and they're able to control the land, which then will help them gain control of the Mississippi River later, which is all part of their Anaconda land. Once again, we know that the Union has more resources to fight. They have more guns, they have more troops, they have more railroads, they have more everything. And Grant shows great leadership by refusing to give in. By him not giving in, he was able to rally his troops and give them motivation to want to continue fighting, to want to keep on going on this battle. And that although this geography did not impact this battle, it happened because of the Mississippi River. Their end goal of battling at Shiloh was to gain control of the Mississippi so that they can cut off the Confederates' supply line.